and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Welcome to Schuck on a Truck, the Zoom edition. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Schuckman. Unfortunately, we're not sitting on the tailgate of my truck right now for a couple of reasons. My guest is in Arizona, so it'll be a little tough to do that. And I'm laid up for the meantime, battling back from a knee injury, had surgery recently, but we'll get back on the tailgate of the truck soon enough. But I can't thank Graham Spraker enough for joining me on this edition of Schuck on a Truck, the Zoom edition. Welcome, Graham.
What's up, Schuck? Good
How
to
are
see
you,
you,
buddy?
Wish I could see you in person.
Yeah,
I'm sure I will soon. But
we did a few of those interviews on the tailgate of the truck after games back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Lots of EU Stadium.
Yeah, great place to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're in Phoenix right now. Just finished up Arizona Fall League. Congratulations, Arizona Fall League Reliever of the Year.
Thank you very much.
This is a big step in your career to go there and have success, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was very big for me. This was my second round in the Arizona Fall League. So coming back was a chance to prove myself at the same skill level, I guess I would say.
Right.
And such a significant difference was really big for me.
That was 2019 you played in the Fall League. So 2
Yes.
years later, you're back in the Fall League. How different of a pitcher are you now compared to 2019?
Completely different. Even if we just look at 2019 Fall League to 2001 Fall League, I completely basically retooled everything during the 2020 lockdown. So I was pitching in the Fall League as a reliever,
right,
with sinker slider changeup.
Mm-hmm.
I come off a 2019 season with high A Dunedin, and I was a starter there. So I was with my normal offering. Sinker slider change is what I threw back when I was at Quincy.
Right.
I've grown up throwing. It's like that was the Graham Spraker that you were going to see. And then given the chance to step back and like ask those tough questions, is this going to really work?
Mm-hmm.
And the big, I came back in 2021 with a new four-seam fastball and a new cutter. And those are the only two pitches I threw this year. So being able to compare 2019 AFL to 2021 AFL is really cool because it's like two completely different pitchers.
Yeah. Well, I know, and the stuff I read, and for people out there who are wondering, Graham pitched at Quincy University, was a senior in 2017 when the Hawks went to the D2 World Series, got drafted by the Blue Jays, and is now working his way up through the Blue Jay organization. And the stuff I was reading about your Fall League experience was so many guys were impressed with the cutter and how you've added that to the arsenal. Was that a pitch you kind of went, that's something I have to add to my arsenal?
So the journey to learn the cutter was actually what started the revamp of everything. I had a small stint. I threw one game for AAA Buffalo during 2019. And the feedback from that was the pitching coach there said, you have a great sinker, but a cutter, like a perfect mirror of that pitch, would complement your arsenal. Like that's the best thing you could do for yourself right now is to learn how to throw a cutter.
Awesome.
So I went home after that season with the mission to learn how to throw a cutter. And in doing so, before I perfected the cutter, I kind of ran into the middle ground, which was a riding fastball.
Okay. And
I like that so much that not only I didn't abandon the cutter, but I found the fastball first, and then I found the cutter after that.
Gotcha.
I didn't really come into the comfortability with the cutter until I got to use it so much during the 2021 season.
How comfortable are you now throwing the cutter?
That's like four-seam cutter is like my identity now.
Okay.
Yeah, just as I used to be identified as a sinker guy before this year, I am now four-seam cutter guy, and that's what I'd roll out of bed doing.
Is the cutter going to get you to the next level?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I mean, but that's, to continue climbing the Blue Jays organizational ladder is why you make changes and why you adjust and why you find a new identity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's to be the best possible version of myself that I can be, and then hopefully that's pretty damn good. But sometimes, yeah, you have to ask those questions like, is this really the right path?
Right.
So I took those questions kind of seriously and came up with some new ideas. I believe in the cutter. I love my cutter, and
Awesome.
feedback I get from the live at bats from throwing against the guys here in
Mhm.
Phoenix and throwing against guys in Dunedin. The best part about it is not that it's like some big sweeping pitch. It really doesn't move that much at all, but it looks exactly the same. It spins exactly the same as my four seam fastball, so they can't see the difference.
Interesting. Well, and obviously it works because when you look at your results here in the Arizona Fall League alone, 0.0 ERA, 17 strikeouts and 11 and third innings.
Yep.
Yeah, not a bad fall at all. So obviously it's working.
Yeah, and I credit most of the success to my fastball too. I probably got 90% of my strikeouts this season and in the fall league because of my four seam fastball, and not the cutter. Honestly,
Yeah.
the cutter's great for the cutter's great to keep hitters off balance or get some missed contact if I need it. If I'm just happen to not be chasing a strikeout that at bat,
Right.
but yeah, I've fallen in love with both those two pitches, and I think I believe in them.
You were a starter at Quincy University, started your pro career as a starter at the low levels of the Blue Jays organization. How has the transition to be a full-time reliever gone?
I actually was a reliever my first short season when I was in rookie ball.
Oh, that's right.
Here.
Yeah.
And after that season, the Blue Jays told me that we think we see you in the upper levels of the minors and in the majors as a reliever.
Gotcha.
We don't think that you fit the profile of, well, possibly. It was up in the air, but they said for the most part, best shot is you're going to be a relief pitcher.
Mhm.
But next couple of years, we want you to be a starter so that you get more innings because you need more development than some of the other guys that might be a little more big league ready when they first come in.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I came back into my identity as a starter in 2018 and 19 through a lot of innings. But then coming back to the bullpen, I had a little bit of a transition point. I would credit the 2019 AFL as that transition point.
Yeah.
That was quick. It was right out of the season as a starter and then right into the bullpen a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from those guys there. And then I did some reflecting on my time in rookie ball, but big difference between rookie ball and the Arizona Fall. Huge difference there. So I did have a little bit of a hiccup as far as like making sure I'm ready on time, my daily routines. At first there was a ton of like throw one day, next day off, and then like next day I for sure knew I had off. And then day two it was like, okay, like I gotta be 100% good to go today. And then it just turned into a waiting game. And honestly, that waiting game just ate me alive. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. But going into after experiencing, the kind of obstacles I had there, going into this last season, knowing that I was going to be a reliever and knowing what it felt like to like have to pump the brakes sometimes or to just get going with no warning at all. I kind of like I like it now. I love it.
That's awesome. That's well, it seems to be a good fit because one, you're having success doing it, and two, there's talk obviously of what could happen next year. Could you start the year at AAA? Will there be an opportunity to maybe next year to get into the bullpen at the big league level? Obviously, those are questions that'll be answered down the road, but you have a trajectory, and that's got to give you confidence knowing that people are talking that you're moving up that trajectory.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a momentum now. So my only goal wherever I start off is just to keep that rolling.
It was a cool experience to be part of the Fall League Stars game, the Fall Stars game, and obviously got the save, came in and closed it out. But you got to play on the MLB Network. That game was televised live on the MLB Network. Those are the things that get you ready for the big leagues, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say so. I was amped for that game. I was ready to go. But luckily, the Solar Sox coaching staff was they were the coaching staff for my team in the All-Star game.
Gotcha.
So they told me like days beforehand that I was coming in the ninth inning, like no matter what the situation was, like that inning was mine. So I was pumped up. I was ready to go. And I
A
was
lot of people around here were a lot of people around here thought it was pretty neat. I know. Well, myself, I DVR'd the game because I knew I had to work and cover a game that night, so I wasn't going to be home. So then I could watch it later. And there were a lot of people excited because the interesting thing about playing at Quincy University is you build a relationship with not only your teammates and the coaches here, but you start to build a relationship with the fans and the community. So people here are excited to see what you're doing, which is neat.
Oh yeah, and the Quincy community reaches farther than I think people realize. I know that during 2020, I lived with two former QU baseball players out here in Phoenix, and I even worked for a lady whose entire family was from Quincy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I worked for a lady named Becky Seeley. She owned a phlebotomy company out here in Phoenix, and I ended up driving for her through the whole pandemic.
Hey,
So Quincy people helping out Quincy people, that's everywhere.
you can't go wrong with the connection, right?
Definitely can't help me out.
Yeah. Well, and you're starting to see other guys. You know, Riley Martin got drafted this year. I know next year there's some possibility that with some guys that are on Major League Scouts radar. What advice would you give those guys since you've been through the low levels of the minors and working your way up? What would you tell them about patience and everything that goes into it?
I would just say take your opportunity when you get it, and never stop working. You are never good enough until you are the best. So yeah, just work your tail off, find any way you can to learn and get better. But just never stop.
Which is why you're working every day in Arizona right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I got projects that started immediately. As soon as I was done off the field here in the NFL, I'm working on new stuff.
The obviously second time in the Arizona Fall League. You're from Arizona. I don't think people always realize that. They think a lot of the QU guys are from the Midwest, but you came to QU from Arizona. How cool was it to be able to pitch in front of family and friends this fall?
It was awesome. It kind of reminds you what the game's all about, you know. And this was the first time here in 2021 that my parents have seen me pitch in like 2 years.
Oh wow.
So it's awesome to see friends, family. I remember during the Fall Stars game, I had a group of like 20 of my closest friends, and my parents came up to see a game. It was awesome.
That's really cool. Well, it's been since 2017 is the last time I got to interact with your parents. But I think that's another aspect of the QU community and the QU baseball program is the parents become friends. The parents become part of the program. And for years on, you if you run into them anywhere, you're still part of the QU program.
And I think all of us can say we always will be.
Yeah. The so obviously we're on into December now. How soon do you start thinking about spring training and that stuff? I know you're working on your daily workouts and everything, but how soon do you start the mind frame of I got to get ready for spring training?
I'm already in it.
Yeah.
This is going to be I think my fourth off season as a professional.
Yep.
And every year I seem to get closer and closer to the ideal off season plan and schedule, I would say. But every year I always I don't like having to like prep for spring training. I don't like to have to get back into the playing mindset. So I think this year, especially, and it's nice that coming off the AFL, my off season is shorter, but I'm just going to do my best to honestly never fall out of the game time mindset. So I feel like I'm ready for spring training today, and I maintain that mindset until that day comes.
How much communication do you get from the Blue Jays as far as, hey, be ready for spring training because we're thinking of having you here, or is that just wait till you get there and then start to see what their plan is?
I've yet to receive any communication as far as like if I'm going to be at which spring training I'm going to go to.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm not sure it's time for those conversations yet. Most of my conversations with the Blue Jays now are like health checkups, checking in with my strength program, making sure that I'm taking care of checking all those boxes with my trainer here, and then going in with my pitching coach, sending videos of like any throwing drills I'm doing or any workouts I'm doing with my trainer. So right now, all my check-ins are developmental, but we'll see it happens soon. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when those conversations will happen, but I'm sure it's got to be. It's got to be soon.
Yeah, well, we'll all be anxious as well to see where you end up. And I think a lot of people around here, myself included, will be following along and anxious to see what next year holds for you.
Yeah, hopefully, whatever happens, I feel like we're going to start in a good spot.
Yeah.
So, and I think also wherever I start, wherever spring training I go to, the situation is the same. I'm gonna have to prove myself again and force myself onto a roster. I think no matter what, that's always the reality of it.
Well, you've done a great job of it so far, and you'll keep doing it.
I will. Yep, I will do my best.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. This has been awesome to catch up. And we'll do it again. Maybe we'll be talking about a big leaguer one of these days. You never know.
We will be.
Awesome. I like that attitude. That's awesome. Graham Spraker, former Quincy University right-handed pitcher, now in the Toronto Blue Jays organization and the reliever of the year in the Arizona Fall League. Thank him for joining me. This is Matt Schuckman. This has been Schuck on a Truck, the Zoom edition, brought to you by Refreshment Services Pepsi.
We get out, fired up, hook big ones. We get out and rip it, and we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew, get out and do.
Another rock and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.